In today's video, I want to answer some of the more frequently asked questions that I get here on YouTube or via DM on Instagram. I want to share a little bit about how I got started in videography, some of the things I've learned along the way, what gives me inspiration, what equipment I use, all those good things. But if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Saul Lopez and I am a freelance content creator based here in Los Angeles, California. I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world in the fashion, music, and sports industry. Would love for you to subscribe here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Saul Lopez if you find some of this information useful. I am also releasing new videos every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first question is, any source of inspiration, who or what drives you every day? My biggest source of inspiration is kind of an unorthodox one. I would say that it's mainly driven by my desire to provide experiences to the closest to me, if that makes sense. I have a really close group of friends that I love spending time with. I love traveling with them. I love just talking about different stuff, just hanging out. But I enjoy just being able to provide different experiences for them. And that's really one of my main goals. Like one day I really want to be able to fly out all my friends to like wherever in the world and just be able to spend a good time with them. The last 2 summers in 2018 and 2019, I've taken a month off during the summer and I've gone to Bali just to get my mind off of things, to relax. And on those trips, I've had the opportunity to book like my own Airbnb and just like have any friends that want to come out and like fly themselves out, I just let them stay with me for free and I'll just cover the accommodation. So just little things like that are really what inspired me, just because at the end of the day, family and friends are the most important thing to me. Those are the people that are going to be there with you through thick and thin. And that's really what it's all about, just being able to share those experiences in those moments with the people closest to you. So that is one of my biggest sources of inspiration. Aside from that, I'd also say that my mom is my biggest source of inspiration. She is one of the hardest working people that I know, if not the hardest working person that I know. She moved to America looking for a better life for herself and then for her future child, which would be me. She was a single mother. She raised me all by herself. So, you know, I do a lot of this just because of that work ethic that my mom instilled in me. So I would say that my mom is also my biggest source of inspiration. All right, moving on to question number 2. The most popular question by far is my gear setup. So to start off with, we have my camera that I am using to film myself right now. So I can't show you that camera, but it is the Sony A7R Mark III. I bought that in 2019. So I've been shooting on it for almost 2 years. I shoot primarily on the Sony 24-70mm f2.8. If I do need to rent other lenses that are Sony based, I rent the 16-35 f2.8 as well as the 70-200 f2.8 as well. I do primarily shoot a lot on the DJI Ronin S for my gimbal and my stabilizer. However, I've been trying to go a little bit more handheld as of late. I also have a couple of film cameras here that I use from time to time. So this first one is the Instax Mini 9 Polaroid camera that I just use for fun. I'll bring this if we're having like a party or I'm just hanging out with friends. Like this is just a really awesome way to capture those drunk moments that you have with friends, as well as a Fujifilm disposable camera. I also always carry this if I'm traveling, if I'm shooting an event, if I'm hanging out with friends or just going out for fun. I always like to carry one of these because it's a super easy way to just capture like a moment really authentically. And people, I've noticed, like really open up and they have fun with these. Like there's not a lot of pressure when you're taking a photo of someone on a disposable camera, just because it's like a little bit more fun and just not as serious. And you get some really crazy authentic moments with this. So definitely some good memories with my Fujifilm. And then as of late, one of my more recent purchases that I bought last year is the Contax T2. I wanted a little bit more of a authentic film experience, if that makes sense. This is a point and shoot camera. I've only used a couple of rolls of film so far, but I just love the way this looks. And this camera was made popular by Kendall Jenner when she went on Jimmy Fallon. So definitely boosted up the prices on this, but I ended up getting this for like $900 off of eBay. It came straight from Japan, but I love it so far. And just the quality of the images and the texture on the actual film is just like, you know, beats anything that I've seen. So I really enjoy that. Aperture 120D camera light that I use for my in-studio lighting for my YouTube videos as well. For my microphones, I have a Kamiko Lav mic that I have right here. It's the transmitter is attached to the hot shoot on my camera. Lastly, I also have my drone. I have the DJI Mavic Pro Mark I. Currently, I have like 4 batteries aside from that, and that's what I shoot all my drone footage with and I travel with so far. So it's not a ton of equipment. It's pretty running and gun. Like I said, the majority of my work is for social media. I don't have the most elaborate setup or the highest end equipment, but it's just what has worked for me and produces the best images that I like. However, try to shoot on different cameras and try different equipment out to see what results in the best images for you and what you like for your style that you're going for. Question number 3, and that is, what is my dream job? This has definitely evolved over the years. For the longest time, I really wanted to be Kanye's videographer. However, I love Kanye West creatively and everything that he does. I just feel like it'd be a really, really stressful environment to work in. I don't think it'd be the most stable work environment. I'm just like not looking to get into all that, but I love Kanye. Kanye's people, if anyone in Kanye's team is watching this, I'd love to be Kanye's videographer if he even needs one. But as of late, I have 2 dream jobs, or 2 dream gigs, I guess you could call them. The first one being the Lakers videographer. I'm a huge sports fan. I've been a Laker fan since I was a little kid. I was born and raised here in Los Angeles. We have one of the best teams right now. I would love to be just the Lakers videographer. I know a couple of the people that work with the Lakers just through social media, so seems like they have that gig pretty locked down, but it'd be really cool to maybe down the line shoot a Lakers game or just be their videographer. That would be incredible. And another dream gig that I've always wanted to do, I really want to be a tour videographer for a music artist. One of the bigger inspirations that I had earlier on was Ben Haggerty, also known as Ben Real vs. World on Instagram. He is also the founder of Black with No Cream, which is a creator community that you can find here on social media. Highly recommend it. If you have not heard of Black with No Cream, look into it. They have an amazing podcast. He went on tour with Schoolboy Q in the earlier 2010s. I think it was maybe like 2013, 2014, but he created this tour vlogs that went on Schoolboy Q's YouTube channel. I think there was maybe like 6 or 7 videos, but I thought those were the coolest videos. Like, that was something that drove me to just be like, wow, I didn't know people could do this. Like, I want to do that with my life. And it just seemed like the way he framed it and created episodes and made all of Q's friends into like characters, it was just really well done and something that I would really love to do. And I specifically would love to be The Weeknd's tour videographer. I love The Weeknd. His music is great. He's actually going on tour. He was supposed to go on tour in 2020, and I think he might be going on tour later in 2021. But if I could, however, find my way onto that tour or just like shoot a show, but I would love to be The Weeknd's tour videographer at some point, or just any major music artist. But I know The Weeknd has a major tour coming up, so putting it up to the universe, but it'd be really cool to be The Weeknd's tour videographer. So I think either working with the Lakers or The Weeknd would be 2 of my dream gigs in the near future. Moving on to the next question. Ever looking for some assistance on your shoots? Yes, the answer to that is yes. I know COVID has made it a little bit tricky with shoots and just different guidelines and things like that. However, whenever I do have shoots, I always primarily work with the same group of people just because I am comfortable working with them. We know how to work together. We know how to achieve the look that we're going for. We can come together and create the final product that is conducive for the client as well as for us, and just something that we'll be happy with. But for PAs, people to just help out, be an extra set of hands, always looking for help in that regard. If you are a content creator in LA, New York, Europe, please feel free to hit me up on Instagram at Saul Lopez. Would love to have you on set and just help out. It's a really great way, an easy way to learn without pressure. All you have to do is just be able to, easy to work with, be professional, and just be able to help out, carrying different things, lenses, equipment, things of that nature. But yes, I am always looking for extra help on different shoots. How old were you when you started taking photography seriously, and how old are you now? I started taking photography seriously around the same time I started doing videos, which was in 2016, 2017. Even now, I consider myself more of a videographer. I don't believe that I am the best photographer. Photography is just a completely separate art form from videography, and I think it's just a lot more difficult, to be completely honest. I feel like I'm a better videographer and video editor than a photographer. However, people still hire me to take photos of them and hire me for different photography projects, which I am not mad about. So I started taking photography seriously around 2016, 2017, just shooting hundreds of pictures each day, going out taking photos for fun. And that was something that just helped me develop those skills. So I started shooting photos in around 2017, and the Second part of that question was, how old am I now? I am currently 27, and I'll actually be 28 this upcoming Sunday, January 24th. So happy early birthday to me, I guess. Next question is, when did you start with all of this? I guess all of this meaning freelance content creation. Like I just mentioned before, I bought my first camera in 2016. That camera was the Canon EOS Rebel SL1. It came with a kit lens, 18 to 55 millimeter lens. Just started making videos for fun, started making videos for friends here in LA, just people I went to college with, like little surf videos, skate videos, just practicing a ton. I went full-time freelance about a year later after that, October 2017. My first client was a clothing company called We Are Uprisers, which I have spoken about before with Michelle Hanabusa, who owns it. That was my first retainer client, and then outside of that, started getting really heavy into the fashion industry, which developed into the music industry, and then now the sports industry, so on and so forth. So yeah, I've been freelance for over 3 years now. It's been a crazy ride, but yeah, originally started in 2016, just starting out, trying out different things. The next question is, tell me a secret, which is kind of a weird and vague question, but a secret related to content creation and just to work would be that in 2019, I shot with Emily Ratajkowski. If you don't know who Emily Ratajkowski is, she's like a actress, model, celebrity person, and just someone that I wanted to shoot with for a long time, and I'm actually friends with her photographer. The secret would be that I had to shoot a video for her clothing company. However, that video never came out. I edited it, I sent it over to the photographer. I don't know if it ever made it to Emily or if she saw it and just didn't like it. I don't know what the feedback necessarily was, but regardless, that video never came out. It just sits right here on my iPhone in my camera roll, and I watch it from time to time because it wasn't bad. It was just like a little behind the scenes video of a photo shoot, which I thought was really cool, and I was really excited to put that out. Maybe one day it'll come out, but for now, it'll be forever in the vault. All right, let's do a couple of these and kind of just like a rapid fire type questions. How did you start shooting Fashion Week? That's a great question, and I can elaborate on that more, but started shooting for local clothing companies here in Los Angeles, and through that I was able to build a portfolio, and then through that I was able to just like reach out to different people in New York in the fashion industry and just try to pitch what I was able to do, and that eventually led me to getting hired into New York Fashion Week. And I made a video all about how I shot New York Fashion Week. I'll link it right here in the top right hand corner, so go check that out if you want to learn more. How often do you travel for gigs, or does it depend? In 2018 and 2019, I traveled a lot, over 100 flights, went to a bunch of different countries. It was really tiring, it really drained me out, which is why when quarantine hit in March of 2020, I was really excited to just be at home for a while and just not have to worry about going to airports. Since March of 2020, I've only traveled once via flight, but yeah, it's slowed down significantly, and the majority of my work is just now at home. How do you get to work with celebrities? The short answer to that is I basically just started shooting a bunch of events that had celebrities, and once you start shooting events with celebrities, people kind of just attach you to working with celebrities for whatever reason, and you get hired to work at more events with celebrities. So that's just kind of the short answer. But yeah, the fashion industry really helped out with that and shooting Fashion Week, just because there's celebrities from all over the world, and once you start capturing them, people want to hire you because you're that guy who shot so-and-so at this event. As shallow as it sounds, that's kind of just the way it works. But yeah, mainly started shooting celebrities within the fashion industry. I think we'll probably wrap up with this question. Did you ever deal with feeling like your work wasn't good enough? And the short answer to that is yes, 100%. It's really difficult, especially nowadays with TikTok. You have Instagram, you have YouTube, you have people with iPhones who are basically a photographer and videographer. It's really hard to not compare yourself and just to see other people's work on social media and just be like, dang, like I am not good enough. I'm nowhere near as talented as this person is. And it can really be discouraging and can allow you to get in your head. But for me, I think I really struggle with imposter syndrome a lot. And for anyone that doesn't know what imposter syndrome is, it's basically just like you're feeling like you're an imposter, like you don't belong to be somewhere that you were hired to be or you were asked to be. And I've gotten a lot better with it over the last couple of years, but especially when I was starting out, I was like, dang, I really do not belong here at all. And like I said, I would compare myself to other people on social media and just other people's work. But as I've gotten older and I've progressed in this career path, and the more work that I've done and the more people that I've worked with, it's, you know, I just have to remind myself like, hey, like you are here for a reason, you were hired for a purpose, and you belong to be here. I think that's the biggest reminder that you can give yourself is, hey, you belong here. There's a reason you are here, and it's not by mistake. You know, you've worked hard to get here. So, you know, those are some of the affirmations that I have to tell myself, as silly as it sounds. But I know I'm not the most talented videographer by far. Like, I know I'm just not, but I am consistent, I work hard, and I'm really easy to work with, and I'm just like a really professional person when it comes down to it. So I think, you know, with those things intact, you know, as long as I keep going for it and just keep working at it, you know, I try to block out and just not compare myself to other people, because everyone is in their own lane. There is enough work for all of us out there. The world is a big place. The entertainment industry is a big place, and there's enough food for all these content creators to go out there and eat. All right, so that wraps up my first Q&A. I hope that was insightful and helpful, and just kind of, you know, gave you a little bit more information as to what it's like being a freelance videographer and content creator. If you still have any questions, which I'm sure you do, please DM me on Instagram at Saul Lopez. Leave them in the comment section below. I love interacting with you all and answering any questions that you have. Anytime, day or night, whenever, shoot me a question and I'm more than happy to answer it. Please subscribe, please like, please comment. It really, really helps me out. Hope you're staying safe out there, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much.
I might just hit it through. That's on my element. I like dark skins, love a melanin. Talk, pushing the tongue when I'm stepping in.